Real Madrid just signed two defenders who don't get nearly enough attention.
Can possibly get it tonight, Vinicius Jr. And that's really good defending over there by Konaté, who quickly got across to help out Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's done brilliantly over there.
By Dumfries, there's a turnover.
They still need more at center back. I like those moves. I think Florentino Perez and the Real Madrid board is moving accordingly to what they need this summer.
Together, they might form the most physically terrifying backline combination in world football right now. And the question nobody's really asking is this: can José Mourinho take a defense that completely fell apart over 2 seasons and turn it into something that genuinely scares people? Because that's what's actually on the table here. 2 trophyless seasons, a dressing room that imploded so badly even the players were throwing punches, a squad that kept getting exposed every time an opponent ran at them in transition. This isn't a defensive upgrade, it's a complete identity shift. Madrid's back line didn't just break down, it rotted slowly, then collapsed all at once. Eder Militao missed months recovering from serious injury.
I think if Real Madrid find an opportunity on the market to add one more defender to the squad because of the injuries of Eder Militao.
And even when he came back, the questions around his long-term reliability never went away. David Alaba went from being a reliable presence to barely featuring. Dani Carvajal couldn't play every 3 days anymore, and the drop-off when he wasn't available was visible. Ferland Mendy disappeared for long stretches. Week after week, Madrid were piecing together a defense from whatever was still standing, hoping nobody noticed.
This is what we wanted. We wanted this. We wanted players that are going to stay fit for the season, to go until the end of the season, battling it out.
But here's the thing. Even in the games when everyone was fit, the problems didn't disappear. The squad had lost something that's hard to put on a stat sheet. It lost its physical edge, the kind of dominance that made opponents think twice before running at the backline. That edge was gone, and the rest of European football noticed fast. Teams started targeting transitions deliberately, not because Madrid's defenders weren't trying, because they knew Madrid couldn't recover. 2 trophyless seasons back-to-back followed. Not a rough patch, not bad luck in knockout football. 2 full seasons where the club that had won everything for a decade suddenly looked genuinely vulnerable. Not just by Madrid's historically high standards, but by anyone's. And all along, when Carlo Ancelotti pushed for defensive reinforcements, Florentino Perez's answer stayed the same. You have the best players in the world. Manage them. That's when Xabi Alonso took over and said the exact same thing. The answer was still the same. Manage them. Mourinho became the 3rd consecutive coach to walk through the door and demand the defensive profile of the squad be changed.
Real Madrid has pretty much given Jose full control, full freedom on whichever players he wants. He can bring his uncle, he can bring his bestie, he can bring his dog to start in the midfield. Real Madrid has got no say in what Mourinho wants to do and the players that he wants to bring.
This time, Florentino finally listened.
But Florentino Perez is ready to answer very strong. He's going all in on the manager, all in on the players, all in on new contracts, all in on the exit as well. So Real Madrid are planning for many changes for the upcoming season, and Florentino Perez is ready to act, has already started to act and to move to build the new Real Madrid for season 26-27.
The decision that came out of that wasn't just sign some defenders, it was something bigger. Change the physical identity of the entire backline from the ground up. So, what does that new identity actually look like? It starts with a signing that cost Madrid absolutely nothing. Ibrahima Konaté is 6'5", and before you file that away as just a number, think about what it actually means at elite level. Because most defenders who are that big sacrifice pace to get there. They win headers, they hold their ground, but you can run at them. Konaté doesn't work like that. He has elite size and elite acceleration at the same time, and that combination is genuinely rare, probably one of maybe 4 or 5 defenders in the world who can honestly claim both. During Liverpool's title-winning 2024-25 season, Konaté's role went beyond just being a good centre-back. He was the tactical foundation that made the whole right side of Liverpool's attack possible. Trent Alexander-Arnold was drifting into midfield constantly, dictating games from deeper areas, leaving the entire right flank unprotected every time he did it. Konaté covered it, alone. When teams launched quick counters into that space, he had the recovery speed to get across and deal with it before strikers could work up a full head of steam. His numbers from that season backed it up. Over 2,500 league minutes, 137 duels won, 75 aerial duels won, over 90% passing accuracy. Liverpool kept clean sheet after clean sheet, partly because their defenders could press aggressively, knowing Konaté and Van Dijk had the speed to clean up anything that broke behind them. Now, think about what that means at Madrid, where Trent already is. The problem Madrid had all of last season was obvious. Everyone knew what Trent could do going forward. The passing, the creativity, the ability to control tempo from a right-back position. But every time he pushed up, he left a gap, and teams queued up to run into it.
And when you have no instinct of what position to be in, you end up too far off him, and you don't affect the play.
That's why Valverde constantly had to drop back to cover space and help. Konaté already knows how to solve that problem. He spent 2 years at Liverpool, mastering exactly this role.
Ibrahim Konaté, again, I hope I explained it in the best possible ways. As I said, I'm not at home, but Konaté for me is an absolute signing, is a great signing, and I'm happy that Real Madrid has pulled the trigger, and I'm happy that Real Madrid has made it happen.
The chemistry between them isn't something that needs building from scratch. It's already there. That's not a sentimental reunion. That's a tactical cheat code Madrid found on a free transfer. And yes, Konaté's 2025-26 season needs addressing honestly, because people will bring it up. His performances came under heavy criticism. Mistakes were more visible than usual.
A lot of Madrid fans will say that Konaté, this season, you've seen his level's not great, he's not as good as he was, injuries, this and that, it's just stupid.
But the full picture matters. In January, his father passed away.
Look at his personal life. His father passed away. His dad passed away. I'm not saying maybe that affects the way he played. All I'm saying, it might have had a reason why he played the way he did. And thirdly,
he left England for the funeral, missed important games, and came back to a Liverpool side that was tactically unstable and defensively far more exposed than the year before. The whole team struggled, not just him.
The whole Liverpool team this season has not been great. The whole Liverpool team this season has been playing except for a couple players. So how can we judge one person, one individual, after just 12 months in a bad system with Onslaught, in a shit system with Onslaught, in a system which puts him in a bad position?
And even through all of that, the underlying defensive numbers held. He kept winning duels, making interceptions, blocking attacks. The season looked worse than it was because the context was brutal. Madrid weren't judging him solely on his hardest months. They were looking at the player he was before all of that, and the player he can be again at 27 in the best years of his career. Then there's Denzel Dumfries, 20 million euros from Inter, arguably the bigger bargain of the two.
From what I saw, you're buying him out at 20 million, which for me, that's a steal.
At 6'2", Dumfries spent years as one of the most physically relentless wingbacks in European football. At Inter, under Inzaghi, his job was simple: own the entire right flank, stretch the pitch, attack the box, physically overwhelm anyone in his way, then, somehow, get back and defend. He did it for multiple seasons without breaking down.
Yeah, it's just a technical step, but Real Madrid have agreed a deal for Denzel Dumfries, one of the best right backs around Europe in terms of numbers. If you see, in the recent years at Inter, he did fantastic. He's been a big part of Inter team over the recent seasons, and now Denzel Dumfries ready to join Real Madrid.
The man never stopped running. He arrived in the penalty area constantly as an extra option, dominated aerial duels at the back post, and forced defensive shapes to break just by being where he was. Mourinho has always built his best teams around players like this, not just technically good, Warriors, players who make opponents uncomfortable before the game even starts. Players who can survive tactical battles in hostile environments. Dumfries at right back is that profile, almost exactly.
Denzel Dumfries is coming. I'm excited. This guy is going to compete for that right back position all day long.
Put Konaté and Dumfries together with what's already there, and suddenly Madrid have something they haven't had in years: size, speed, and aggression running right across the defensive line at the same time. For most of the last decade, Madrid's answer to every problem was another attacker.
I know it's defensive additions, but that's what we needed. That's what we needed. We're not signing needless attackers for the sake of it.
Ronaldo, Benzema, Mbappe, Bellingham. The assumption was always that enough firepower could paper over structural weaknesses, and for a while it worked, until it didn't. The game shifted underneath them. Modern football punishes teams that can't defend transitions. Space opens up the moment possession turns over, and the teams that survive that moment are the ones with athletic monsters who can cover ground at speed, not aging veterans running on reputation. Madrid kept collecting stars while the rest of Europe was building athletes. The gap between what the squad looked like on paper and what it looked like in a live transition became impossible to ignore. Mourinho understands this better than almost any active manager. His best spells weren't built on attacking brilliance alone. Chelsea had Claude Makelele before anyone else understood what a pure defensive midfielder could do to a game. Inter's Champions League season ran through a defensive spine that made opponents feel like they were playing against a wall. And his first Madrid stint, the one that produced 121 goals and 100 points in 2011-12, wasn't just a spectacular attack. It ran on Ramos, Pepe, Casillas, and Xabi Alonso, holding the structure together underneath all of it. The counter-attack was devastating because the defense was solid enough to launch it.
I don't think I have, for a very long time, seen a team master the art of the counter-attack quite like that team did. Now, on the face of it, of course, it seems absurd to suggest that a team that scored 121 goals were good on the counter, but they really were. They were very, very quick to release the ball. They were incredibly fast up front. They were very clear in their ideas. There's a great phrase that gets used a lot in Spain, vertical. And it doesn't necessarily mean vertical in terms of long ball, but it means that every time you get possession, you're trying to go forwards.
That's the foundation Mourinho is trying to rebuild.
I don't think there's a better manager outside of like Pep and them boys that to build with. When he tells you to buy a player, he's probably telling you a good player to buy. The man knows how to watch football. The man knows how to buy players. The man knows what he's doing when it comes to that.
Konaté alongside Hausen or Rudiger gives Madrid a centre-back pairing, with the kind of physical presence the squad hasn't had since that era. Not just competent defenders, imposing ones. The kind that changes how opponents approach a game from the first minute. And this isn't finished. Mourinho has signaled midfield investment is coming next. The defensive foundation being laid now gives the rest of the rebuild something to stand on. You can't build upward without one. Madrid aren't recreating anything. They're building a backline with speed, power, and aggression, calibrated for the way modern football actually works, not the way it worked 10 years ago. The question from the start was whether Mourinho could fix this. Based on what's already happened, the answer is taking shape, and if the defense holds, the attacking quality already in this squad becomes genuinely dangerous again. But Mourinho's track record means nothing is guaranteed.
Guys, when you look at Mourinho's career since he, in the past few years, coaching Benfica, as much as I love them, as much as they're my favorite team, coaching Fenerbahce, coaching Roma, these are not the same as coaching Real Madrid when he coached them. It's not the same as coaching Chelsea when he had Lampard and Terry and these type of players. He has not had these type of players in a very long time. So we can't really judge Mourinho.
The pieces are here. The blueprint exists. Whether it holds together is the whole story. If you want to follow how this rebuild unfolds, subscribe. More breakdowns are coming as the 2026 project develops.